of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the line, this is your song.
Oh, dang, I should have had my songs queued up here. Thanks to YouTube and their non-attribution required royalty-free music, we got background robot noises. Everybody gets mad when I run these things in the background because they can't hear me, I guess, but I don't care. So, yeah, we're going live. I'm going to put it right there and let me know if that's a good background, good background noise level. So, got some people joining tonight, this afternoon. What time is it? It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon here. Maybe it means it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon over there. I don't know what to call you. I'm going to call Huckleberry joined up first. Then we got DM. They were hanging out here for the show. And then looks like Kingpin's in here now. So we got a couple of people joining. And thanks for showing up. The goal here tonight is to focus on 2A a little bit. There's a lot of other stuff going on, and I'm going to not focus on that. How about that? So I almost screwed the pooch right here. I just I secured a loan so that I could keep doing my thing without having to bug everybody at a time when it's not a good idea to bug everybody about money, right? I'd rather talk about 2A and other things, not to offer a distraction, but to offer an alternative to the just, what do we call it, like waves of hype. So we're going to talk about 2A today, and I just thought it was funny because just as I figured there's nothing I can do. I'm going to go live today. It's the only thing I can offer the world is, I'm sitting here with an internet connection, so I'll go live and give people something to do that's different than the hype, right? So as I'm doing this, I'm desperately trying to figure out how to pay bills, right? So I'm working on this, procuring a loan, let's say, and then as soon as they said, okay, sure, I guess this time, blah, blah, blah. And then I said, great, because I've got a great investment in a used snowmobile, and I think this is the perfect time of year to invest in it. And I thought, I probably shouldn't have said that. That was probably a bad follow-up. I should have just said thank you. So hopefully they didn't ruin nothing. But they did text back and say LOL, so good. Anyway, so yeah, we're not going to talk anything about all the stressful shit today. We're just going to talk about 2A. So I've got a couple of 2A projects I'm working on. I'll share those progress of them with people today. I sent out a link on Patreon, so if you would like to join, let me know, and we'll make it a chat as long as you don't want to chat about all the fear. So as an alternative to that, we're going to talk about 2A today, and then I think we'll talk about robots tomorrow if people are down with that. So I'm not trying to distract or suggest that you shouldn't worry about everything in the world, but if you're looking for a couple hours of not worrying about stuff, this is what this will offer. All right, so the gain is good. I don't know what that means. All right, so see who all is out there. If you're out there, say hey. Otherwise, we don't know you're out there. And I will start to screen share over here. What are you going to do today? So how am I going to work on? I figured I'd go live, and then I figure about what I'm going to do when I'm live. Looking at a bunch of robot work I've been working on here, so I'm going to get out of that work and open up something that's 2A. I also just got a new hard drive. This is interesting. Why isn't my hard drive showing up on my computer right now? So let's close out of everything. Yeah, what's up with that? How come I'm not seeing any of my hard drives on my computer? So I want to thank, I guess, a couple of people over on Patreon. I bought this new hard drive, and it's not designed to be another working hard drive. It's just a backup, a RAID, I guess. I don't know what to call it. I'm just going to, it's a 3 terabyte drive. I've got a whole bunch of 2 terabyte drives that I put stuff on. I've got stuff that we collect on the tour, of course, photographs and videos and things like that. Instagram posts, all the stuff that collects on the phone or gets recorded from the phone. All of that stuff lives or exists on one of the hard drives. And then there's stuff that we create, right? Like graphics and all the 2A history stuff. And there's that kind of thing. Then there's, of course, the websites and online content, stuff like that. So all these things exist and they start to live online, but they have copies here on the computer. So those hard drives, I like to be redundant. I like to have backups of all that stuff. And I had, how do I say, like I had been using my backup drives for a while now because all my other drives filled up. All I had left was these backup drives. So I started using them. And I never like being in that situation because then about 3/4 of my stuff is backed up, but everything new is not backed up. And that's where I was at for since probably October last year. I've been not redundant. I have not had anything backed up, and I don't like being in that position, especially when you do stuff online, right? So I got this new hard drive, $48, Newegg at newegg.com, and then I worked at Microsoft. I should know this, but I plugged it in and it wasn't identifying. And to my whatever, I haven't worked at Microsoft since 2004, so it's been a little while since I've worked on these things. But yeah, it was driving me nuts. I knew I was missing something, but short of opening up a book or something and trying to remember what I'm forgetting, I went over to Patreon and asked my Patreon people, "Hey, I can't find my hard drive. What am I missing?" And I think a couple of people suggested what I need to do, but somebody had posted a link to a quick online site that had a tutorial, and it focused me right in. Basically, I just needed to go in and have Windows, or I think I had to have the the computer, I guess is the way to say it, the BIOS recognize the drive, and then let Windows recognize the drive. I've been so fan is out of harmony here. It sounded like rain almost here. I'm trying to. Oh, I have my fan on the roof. That's why I was noticing a weird noise. Anyway, yeah. So got the drive running. Moved most everything that I've been worried about over to it last night. Probably should have moved some of this other stuff over, but I've been distracted. So I'm gonna, I guess I have 90% of everything moved over. I'm gonna wait and not move this other stuff over. For whatever reason, I had to just restart everything, and now I see my drives over here. That's better. So I think what I'm gonna do is open back up that software. We'll get started. And like I said, I want to work on 2A today, and then tomorrow we'll work on robots a little bit. So anybody that's listening today and is thinking, "Oh, I'm sick of talking about 2A all the time," tomorrow we'll be talking a little bit about robots. Movie robots, more than likely. So I'm waiting for my software to open here, and then we'll start screen sharing. So I see Flutter is out there. I don't know who else showing up. I think I see everybody on the duck, though. See, it just went crazy again. There are some new things since I worked at Windows, and there's something about, I'm used to FAT32 or FAT16, FAT32, I don't remember, I was 16-bit thing. Now there's some new thing for when the drives are over 3 terabytes, I guess. So I'll claim that ignorance too. Things have changed in Windows since I've worked there. Anyway, I wonder if that has anything to do with why my thing glitches every once in a while and doesn't recognize. Yeah, see, now it's not recognizing those drives again. What's up with that? So if I try to open something from those drives, what's up with that? I can't even use these drives. Well, that's going to be frustrating if I can't even get to them. So I have to keep restarting to get to them. Do you hear the music in the background, or is it louder than me talking? Got a couple of people joining in. I don't see the thumbs over here, so I have no idea what thumbs are happening. I think I'm supposed to start bitching about the bell. Everybody's supposed to Make everybody touch that bell. Oh, come on. Just all happy that I got this new hard drive and now it's not gonna recognize. So, I'm not screen sharing, you're not seeing what I'm talking about, but my drives keep disappearing. So now I'm gonna open up the software again. We're gonna see if the drives stay visible. So again, let me know. You got 20 people out there. I haven't heard back if that music is, you can hear it, or if it's too loud, or what's the deal. It's non-attribution required royalty-free music from YouTube. You ever had wheat French bread? I just got this wheat French bread from Walmart the other day. I always get whatever bread is about to expire. So it was 39 cents for a big French bread thing, but it was wheat bread. It sounded kind of gross, but I got it anyway. It was super heavy. It was like carrying around a brick, so it was so heavy. But really good. You just bust it in half, throw it in a toaster oven, and then throw peanut butter on there. Just got done eating a big ass peanut butter sandwich. Remember discussion about that earlier? Okay, thanks for the feedback on the music. I wonder if I can. Yeah, I'm messed up. I've got the volume on the media player at like 0, and somehow probably the computer volume at max, so I don't really know what volume it's at. All right, so did the software open this time? No, the software's not opening. I got some kind of weird glitch happening with this new drive. It's not good. Like I say, I wonder if there's something. Does anybody know? Is there something about drives bigger than 2 terabytes that I'm not aware of in Windows 10? So I was all happy thinking that last night I got the drive to identify, and like I say, I moved while I pulled a bunch of stuff over to it. Maybe not even a gig, not that much. Or I mean, not even a terabyte. Maybe half a terabyte or 8.8 terabytes or something. Like I say, I probably have another 1.6 to move over to be good. So that like everything from the DC trip and everything since DC is backed up. But for some reason my software's not open and the Adobe software won't open. Oh, I also tried to open video software for some reason. But let me do a task manager and shut it down anyway. My baby crying. Why are you crying? Jump, jump. Jump, jump, jump. She went out by the front door, and I moved this punching bag over so that it's kind of in the way of the front door. And then while she was out there, the wind blew a bunch of boxes over. So now she thinks she's locked by the front door. She can't. She's afraid to jump over these boxes. Come here. Jump, jump, jump. Come here. Jump, jump. Good girl. Jump, jump, jump. Or I wouldn't even have thought about that. You would just jump over. Jump, jump, jump. Yeah, jump, jump, jump. Good girl. You can jump. Good girl. She's not gonna do it. All right, I gotta go rescue the baby. Baby's stuck.
Walk around the side.
She did it. She could have walked around, but she wanted to walk the way she normally walks. So she saw a problem because the way she normally walks is blocked. All right, still don't have these drives. Let me just go. Oh, you know what? I think I'm messing my computer up. I don't have my mouse right now. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to restart everything. So this will still be here. I'll be back in a minute. Not a loaded drive. Well, yeah, if I didn't have it full, but they're not full. Right now, it's just something about, I think it might be this computer. So I'm going to be back in a minute. I'm going to restart the whole computer. Everything should stay running. It'll just be quiet for a minute or two while I restart. I'll be right back. All right, so am I still here? Longer than I thought it would. So I just unplugged that drive and we'll just ignore that drive for now. Let's see, NTFS. I don't remember if that was the choice. It was something I hadn't heard before, and I know what NTFS is. I'm pretty sure it was NTFS, but I think it was, well, it was a 4-letter thing, but I don't remember what it was. It was something about, it said something like, this version will work won't work with all prior versions of Windows. And this other version, the old version, would have, but it said that the new version that won't work on old Windows is recommended for 2 terabytes and above. So that might be, I mean, it's similar to NTFS, right? That was the whole point of that, getting into bigger drives, but I can say, so I just removed it. I've got this thing that looks like a toaster I plugged my drives into, and I just pulled it out of the one slot. I got to go turn on my sink. You don't need to look at me every time I look at this thing. All right, so we're back anyway, and we're going to be talking 2A. So let's see who else showing up. We got 10 people. Did we have 20 people a minute ago? So a bunch of people expect to be entertained when they go to YouTube, I guess. Let's see. All right, so I think we're back. Bella's happy. She got a little snack, and I moved all the boxes so she can go run and look at the mail person. The mail person's going to come by in here in a minute. So I don't know if whoever bought the 2 decks of cards yesterday morning, I think, or Saturday night, whichever, but it was later than I could ship on Saturday. So that's going out this morning. Well, right now. Went out there this morning. It's going to be taken right now. All right, so now I can open up this software and I'll bet you it'll just open right up. So I don't know if FOSS is still out there. Looks like it, but they grabbed one of our things from the Gear website store this weekend. One of the things we offer is to cartoon a 2A activist, and occasionally people will grab one of those. It's basically a way to say thanks for what we're doing to contribute funds to the pile. But often people pick people that we've already drawn. Today I can draw somebody that we haven't already drawn. So I'm going to go do that right now. And then since we're in there, we'll probably draw some other 2A people, since that's what we're trying to do today. Is get people's minds off of stuff and remind us that the Second Amendment still exists, right? Let's see. I got to open recent, maybe. Wow, this sounds like Chicago. Doesn't it? No, I can't even open recent. Oh, maybe it's not even. No, there's no drive. I like it when it's under recent because I don't have to remember which one it is. Now I gotta go in here and remember which one it is. I think it's this one. Yep. Oh, no screen sharing. So we'll start screen sharing. Yeah, but I mean, compared to some of this other robot stuff, it sounds like it. The way it's kind of swingy. All right, who's this guy? Anybody know who this guy is? All right, so let's go grab Kellyanne. That's interesting. Start typing Kelly in here and you go, okay, so look at how they got pictures in the search results in the browser already. It's weird. And Kellyanne. It ain't helping seeing all these other names. It's confusing, making me not remember. Kellyanne. I gotta go look. Not that kind of Chicago. I guess I should do this. Not that kind of Chicago. There. The only thing good about the duck is that you can do that. Kellyanne Pigeon. There we go. So let's see how I can spell that right without having to spell it. No. Don't get her picture, Google. What's up with that, racists? Yep, Cheryl Todd. Had to, right? She's a heavy hitter. So I'm surprised they haven't done Kellyanne either. She does the thing if you go to, what's it called? The streamer. Let's say you go to Gun Streamer. Not my Gun Streamer, but the Gun Streamer. And she used to be right up here, but if you go to channels, well, she used to be like the top channel. So now Liberty Doll and Gun Chick are in front of her. Very feminine people in front of her too, but these are the only two chicks in front of her, I guess, technically. But 700 subs, she's bigger than me on streamer. So she does these armed and feminine podcasts, I guess. I think she does more than that though. Honestly, it's hard to keep up with all the female stuff. That's one of the reasons I'm doing this project, is because there's so many of them that people are like, oh, all these pro 2A females look the same to me. Now we lose them. So anyway, so now we're gonna go find. Let's put Kelly into the Minuteman University also, because I already looked and she inked in here. So Minuteman University is this. It's this project to archive our Second Amendment history, to provide two things: skills and resources. For a long time, I worked on skills. For a long, long time, I worked on skills. That would be things like creating firearms content and encouraging people to participate in creating firearms content. I still think that's super valuable. I worked for a long, long time on that. We've also worked on communication, how to more effectively be Second Amendment advocates, and skills and techniques and theories and all kinds of things. Again, we work on communication whenever I can find somebody that's willing to talk about it. It's boring stuff sometimes. So that's half of what Minuteman University is all about, is skills, like acquiring, honing, exercising, sharing, encouraging, and supporting skills, right? The other side of it is resources, knowing whose shoulders we stand on, where we came from, what fights we've encountered, how many times we've dealt with panics and scares and abuse and successes. And this is more what I like to do, but this is important too. So I spent a lot of time on this, but now we're talking about this. So we've got a lot of these different activists, we've got a lot of different attacks, we've got a lot of different successes and things along the way. So one of the things I'm trying to do is give us different ways of interpreting all this and understanding it and absorbing it, so that we can understand it and use it, because this is a lot of effort and a lot of work and a lot of contributions by a lot of people in a lot of ways. And it's our resource. We should know it, so that when someone tries to come at us and suggest that we're not diverse or that we haven't been diverse since the last 2 decades, then and more, then they can go fuck off. So anyway, so this is that. And then under activists is where we archive, or I list all the individuals. And I'm going to work on this today. So anyway, this is a WordPress site. Underneath of it all, it's a domain name, which I pay, let's say, $10 a year for. It might cost, I think they're $10 a year. Just depends on where you buy them. And then it sits on a server. And if you don't know what that is, it's just a computer that's on 24/7, sitting in some room somewhere that's just on 24/7. And I point this name from the people I buy the name from at the server. So now I have a name so people can find it, because I can tell people, look at that name. And the way the internet works, when you type that in, it finds the computer it's hooked up to. Now you have to have something on that computer, and that software is called WordPress. And then that WordPress gives me the ability to paint pictures and do this stuff, and to lay it out in this organizational way. So that's the 3 elements: a domain name, the server, and the WordPress. And that's what I'm going to go in right now today and fiddle with the WordPress, the skin, the software that sits on that server that shows up when people type this in. And I don't care if people ever type it in, because if someone goes to the Wayback Machine, so if you go way back and you look at the Internet Archives, and I don't care if no human being ever looks at Minuteman University. I guess I have to click on that now. It's not going to find snapshots there. I'll find snapshots here, maybe. There. Doesn't matter, how long I can keep going or that this whole project keeps going. It'll exist. So to the people that have created this stuff with me, then that's what we're creating. So that's what it looked like in 18. And that's what it looks like today. And this stuff will just keep existing. So we're building this so that the AIs of the future can remember what's important in history and not just the polished, weird versions of it that the media wants to shit out there, right? So let's talk about the person we're starting today. So Kellyanne Pigeon. So we're going to go to, first, we're going to add her to the list. So I'll just grab her name here. I don't like to type because my keyboard's way over there. So now we're going to add these. Minuteman or WordPress is just posts organized by pages. So you're going to stick in posts and you're going to organize them by pages. So this is a page called resources, blah, blah, blah. So this is a page with these different posts showing up on it. And when you click on one of these, this is the post I'm talking about. So I'm going to add a new post. And I'm going to give that post her name. And then because I got this awesome monitor, I'm going to do this. And this is one of the reasons I have this monitor, so I can do this kind of stuff. So if you've got a regular monitor, this is a ultra wide or something. This is why I have an ultra wide. I still have a third screen or a second monitor over here where I have you, all you people. But over here is where I can have two things in front of me. All right, so now we know she does the well-armed woman, so we'll grab that. Or no, we don't. She's just listed on the well-armed woman. We'll go see what this is all about. So the well-armed woman is something else. So this is some kind of a bio on the well-armed woman about Kelly. So we know she's Indiana. I've been using tags to do that. So I'll put Indiana. She's a female, so we'll put female in that tag. Do that so that when you're on the site and somebody's looking at activists, let's say, and let's say they click on Harriet Tubman and they go, she's awesome, right? And they go, I want to know more about her. Like she was in the army, she's a female, so they click on female, and then boom, you get all the different things that are tagged with female. So it's going to be organizations, it's going to be laws, it's going to be all these girls, right? All the female podcasters and activists and lawyers and researchers. But then anything tagged. So any organizations that are tagged with female will show up. This here is a tag cloud. So those are a couple ways that I use tags on this site to organize stuff. So I also use categories, and I got to find out more about her. I know she's a podcaster. And is she a competition shooter? I guess we'll find out. So next I like to throw in a bullet list. And we'll just start grabbing stuff from these different bios we find. So we know she's in Indiana, Pennsylvania. I could say that. So she's a certified well-armed woman instructor. And then she's these. So she's with ICE from Pincus and NRA. Dang, it's got her phone number and her email and stuff. We're not going to add all that. But we're going to go check out Armed and Feminine because that's her actual website. We'll grab that and I'll throw that down here as a paragraph. This is the new WordPress uses these blocks. I don't like blocks. All right, so now we found that. Well, this could be the picture we might use, but we'll see, keep digging. So we'll go to About Us. All right, so this is her talking to you about Armed and Feminine. So I think Armed and Feminine is her thing. So while she's a certified well-armed woman instructor, and an ICE certified instructor. I think Armed and Feminine is her thing. So now, Well Armed Woman is already in this system in the Minuteman University thing. So we're going to go in here and create a link. And as soon as you start typing it, it'll autocomplete. So now that's a link to the part of the website that talks about Well Armed Woman. So she'll be linked to that. And I think I'll also, to encourage that link, we'll copy that and we'll put that into the tags also. All right. Now we have to go find out more. Let's see. So nothing in here about dates. She says she's certified and stuff. So now we're going to take Armed and Feminine and we're going to, wrong one. We'll take Armed and Feminine. See if we can find about it on the web. We're doing supporting women in 2A. Just kind of talked about the hard drive there. I unplugged it for now. It works and it is doing what it's supposed to do, store my stuff, but it's having some issues working with, playing well with the others, but I'm not here to, I'm not going to try troubleshooting it, so I'm just ignoring it for now, and we'll keep going. So what we're doing is 2A stuff today, and not so much supporting 2A women, but Foss had purchased a cartoon, drawing a cartoon the other day, and we're going to draw Kellyanne Pigeon, and I'm looking for one, a picture of her, and two, I'm adding her to Minuteman University and finding out all about her, right? So that we can post both her and Armed and Feminine, actually. So this is Armed and Feminine class schedules. So we already went to there. I went to the About Us. Now we're looking at the class schedules. So now I click on Home usually, see if there's anything. Sometimes they'll brag about their start date or their achievements or something. I don't see anything there. There's an FAQ. Check it out. Like sometimes they'll say, when did you start? Or what started this whole thing? I don't see anything there. So click on a Contact Us just in case. It's a forms, no big deal. So yeah, we're not getting much in the About Us. So then we'll go back out. We'll go to the About page on YouTube. See what it says there. It says join March 2015. Born to bring the world of firearms to women who want it, who need it, who make up significant dependence on the market, need the skills. So it sounds like this was Kelly's effort to, like it says, bring firearm training to women. So let's go away from this one and look for some kind of an interview or something. So I can see this is Range 365 article from 2015. That's an interesting article that doesn't talk anything except for the basics of what she's doing. Doesn't talk about like where she came from or anything. Oh wait, here we go. I'll shut up. Classes been full since she began advertising under her name in April of 2015. So now we know that this started in April 2015. There you go. CSI 2A online. Boom. And then I go to publish and no, wait, not this one. Now I'm going to add Armed and Feminine to the mix also. Get rid of that because that looks weird. Put that in down here. Link to the website. We'll eventually find the website. There we go. And now we can go back to here and we can say that this is a gun rights organization. Say female like we did before. And then I'll find an Armed and Feminine logo. So now we go to Armed and Feminine, go back up here, and go to Images. Kidding me, that's their logo. So in the world of today, the Square logo is better than this. Yeah. Way better than this. It's interesting that they picked a name that this chick wrote a book about. Had that book title. Oh, that's Armed and Female. I'll shut up. So I wonder if that would be confusing. So what we're going to do is copy the image. Now, I'll save the image as. And grab the name. Paste. Go up to here, shove it into logos, and now drop it. But before I push it up here, image, upload, grab it. What is it called? Armed. So I'm gonna find this crazy thing. I'm gonna go to here. I'm gonna edit it. Hold this over here. I'm just gonna edit it in Paint, and it's their fault for making it. It's their fault for making a logo goofy. I'm gonna fix it real quick. And this is why I'm not a journalist, because I'm pretty sure journalists don't just change the world to make it fit their website better. But I'm done. So and then I'll save that as the same thing, but with the SQ at the end to designate that it's a Square version. And it's just a JPEG, so it's crappy. But now I can Let's down the bottom because this page didn't ever close. Boom, boom. So it's not the right logo, but hopefully I'll see. And now I can cram it, more importantly, here. And it'll show up in the thing better. And then I can go paste. Now Armed and Feminine exists, right? Oh, but I forgot to, when I came over here in the first place, was to set it to April 2015. So do this. And then document, change this to April. Oh, that means the anniversary is coming up here. 5th year anniversary is coming up here next month. All right, now I got Armed and Feminine in here. So if you went to Minuteman and you went to gun rights groups and you scroll down to 2015, 2015, boom, you get Armed and Female right between NAGA and Black Gun Man. Because I got the month in there, so it's right in there. So now, whenever I'm finished with this, she's an active podcaster. I'm going to call her an activist. And then I'll just hit publish for now because it first has to exist. And now that it exists, I can go click this over to Armed and Feminine. And then hold that. Now she's linked to her organization. All right, so that was more information about it, and I guess, am I going to find anything else? We'll come back to it if we have to. I've never interviewed her or talked to her, so maybe whenever I find an interview or something, I'll learn more about it, and then I can, now that it exists over here, both her and her organization, anytime I find out about it, I can just go add to that. So I call it like my notes online. This is a pretty good picture, huh? I think I'm going with this picture. So I always open the image in a new tab because look how much bigger that image is. Holy crap. So now I can go back over here, add a couple of layers, paste that, go get her dang name again. And paste that. Holy moly, look how big that picture is. So just for scale, this is how big Knox Williams is that we were looking at earlier. You can't even see him. Oh, she ain't that big, I guess. Anyway, so first thing I'll do is crop this out of here. We don't need all of this. I guess should I go to the bottom over here? Nah, that'd be too low. Alright, go there. Get this to a reasonable size. Reasonable. It's a little bit big still. A little bit small. Reasonable? Yeah. All right, get rid of this dude. Nice. Yeah, I'm better, but I've seen enough of her videos that I feel like I'm better. So it's going to be kind of medium between when you know somebody and you don't. All right, so now we'll go to lines. Real quick, give these things some names. Everything blows up. Easy to find where it was. Save real quick. Wiggle my fingers. And then see if many people are saying over here. We got 9 people. So look, if you just mumble into a microphone and do work, nobody shows up. People want to be entertained. But what we're doing here is just to offer some alternative to the hype and paranoia and panic. All right. So what do we got people saying here? Doing good work. Oh, do you know her? I don't know her. She's up in your neck of the woods, so. I should go from the front backwards instead of going backwards forwards, right? So it looks like we were talking about the type of music before. It looks like Chris is out there. Welcome. Kingpin saying hello. Everybody's saying hello. I think this is spam or is this real? If you're real, say something. Otherwise, you're spam.
Awesome. Amazing. This is awesome. This is amazing. This is awesome. This is amazing. I feel like I should click on that because it has an icon.
Don't recognize these spam bots. These are spam bots. And I don't know what their point is. I haven't figured it out yet, but definitely spam bots. I suspect they think that maybe, I don't know, maybe they're just keeping people busy in their spam bot factory. Anyway, don't recognize these people. Don't recognize them on Instagram either. You can tell they're spam because they got a fake ass picture and they say stupid shit like
Awesome. Amazing.
awesome, amazing, because they don't speak our language. They're just putting in words that make people react. So, FYI. Yeah, we're working on MinutemanUniversity.com. Thank you. There's John Z. Every single time I've ever investigated a castle in New York City, I take John Z with me. Says he's uber tired from work. I see the little play on words there. He's a grammaticalist. He's real. You can say hell. You can acknowledge John Z. He is actually a real person. See how he says like real words with a punctuation? Not
Awesome. Amazing. Awesome. Amazing. My hair is so big I can't stop touching it.
That's the main reason I don't like this broad because she has the same hairstyle as me. Coming into my chat with my hairstyle. I'm way behind in bills. I'm also way behind in bills, so I got myself a loan. And yeah, a little stress off. Because now, whenever that loan comes through, I could pay off last month's mortgage. And that's quite a bit of stress off. Quite a bit of stress. Yep. All right, you two get a room. You two get a room over here. And then we got Mystic in there. You two get a room. Oh my goodness. What is going on out here? I'm going to quit clicking on all these. It's getting to be. All right. Not bad. The computer is awesome, definitely. I would like to see what an awesome computer can do, because this is like a $1,200 computer, and this is, I didn't get like the best deal in the world. This is a decent computer. I'm not complaining at all, but I know there's bigger ones. It would be neat to see what a bigger one can just do, but I haven't done anything that really needs to stretch it yet. And I'm definitely happy the new hard drive is recognizing. And I'm not too worried that it isn't working with the stuff, because it's really just designed to hold some stuff and be put in a drawer. So I'll probably do the rest of the backups tonight. I'll just do those in the evening. So I'll just pull some stuff off my other drives and rest easy, knowing that I've got a backup of all this stuff. Mainly I guess if I open up this and go to open, no, if I go to place, like, let's see, if I go into here, this 100 and something images, does it say how many? If I highlight all, tell me how many? No. But, all of these are not all in one file. So this is probably 5 or 6 old files that have all this stuff being made, not just the images themselves, but the files that make up these images. And that's what I didn't back up. So that was a lot of work to not have backed up. And not only would I have lost the cartoons, some of them are online, but I might have, a version online, not all these versions online. So that kind of stuff is nice to have it not just have one copy. I have 2 copies now. So that's super good. And then, I can edit a lot faster and do stuff like this. I couldn't do this for a long time. Or if I could, it was worse, not this good. When did I get back to New York? I don't know. I thought I was going to lose the house, and then I would definitely have time to drive around. But I think I'll keep the house now that I found this situation. Watching from Dublin, Ireland. Interesting. So, Tamid TV. I don't know if that's an abbreviation for something or if that's a name over there, but I don't know if we've ever had anybody from Ireland, at least not in Ireland. So that's kind of neat. You can consider yourself the first person that I know of that watched gun websites from Ireland and said anything about it. And I've only been doing this since 2012. So that's 8 years of live shows. I go live almost every single day. So it's not like I've only done this twice and you're the first person. You can acknowledge this person. It sounds like a real human being. Are you allowed to like an AR-180 or an AR-18 in Ireland, or is that like a bad gun to like because of the IRA? I don't know if IRA is good or bad. All right, everybody's saying hello to everybody. I just got a new box computer a couple weeks ago. For the money, I'm disappointed. Wait, I got a new box computer. I don't know what that means. Like a new desktop? Or is that a brand I'm not familiar with? Oh yeah, don't buy anything electronic in your town. If you buy it in your town, you're buying it for an end user. You don't want to ever buy anything from a store in a town if you're an electronics purchaser. Everything you buy, from a microwave to a television, is designed for the end user. So don't buy that. If you can, buy something that's built for business. And then if you can, buy a refurbished thing that was built for business. That's my opinion on computers. Because then you buy something that's designed for actual daily use and no frills usually, and all strong computer pieces. No, I would not live there. I don't have any interest in living there. But I'm having more interest in not having a bunch of bills and being mobile. So we'll see if eventually I'll visit a lot. I don't really care too much about New York. There's a couple of things in New York I want to see, but there's a whole bunch of stuff in like Connecticut. What is that thing called? The valley where all the Colt and everybody came from? Colt, Smith and Wesson and Winchester Connecticut River Valley or something like that. I want to go there. And I shouldn't say that. I mean, I've never been. I've only been in New York very rarely. But even when I went to visit with you there, from what was that, Pennsylvania, kind of where Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and New York all smashed together, like in that little triangle or trisection, whatever that's called. I went from there over to the castle, and that was beautiful. Like I could totally see why people drive to go there for a drive. Like people go to that part of New York to look at the trees. But on the other hand, it's neat, but it's not the kind of place I'd ever want to live. I don't want to live in that kind of place. I don't like looking at it. I'll drive through it, but I don't want to live there. It just seems like way too many mosquitoes and stuff. I just built a new computer. Yep, right on. I don't know. I would build one, but I really like the idea of these laptops. I've been laptop now for a while. You know, there's Mac and there's Windows, and then there's laptops and desktop people. And I understand the desktop side, but I go around too much, and I like the ability to go around. But I hear you. I understand, and especially when you can make desktops not be a big dumb brick anymore. They can make them little if you want, or if you are going to go big, you can just put so much stuff in there. You can be so fast. Like that would be neat. What are you eating? I had a peanut butter sandwich today for food. Kingpin is time traveling. All right, so let's get back into it. So we're going to draw our son of Kelly here. So I'm going to flip over. Let's see, I get back on this layer. So draw some lines. Flip this thing over, flip this over. Get to drawing. So I zoom in. I like to start with eyes because people have eyes and we all use them. Stuff there. There. Like that. If you make people's eyes not round, they tend to look evil, I think. But those eyes look like people, so we're going to keep going. Ugh. This is too big, that's what's happening. And I got my mouse on too low of a DPI. It's driving me nuts. Also, it's windy. It's really windy. Oh no, that's not good. Oh shit. I'm dropping my DPIs. So now see how slow my mouse is moving? That's because my DPIs are way down. So now, whatever crazy spasms I had with my hand, they don't immediately follow into the mouse. So I've got to move my mouse a lot more. Good. But it's sort of like having a pen that moves smoothly on the surface paper, and then a pen that doesn't move smoothly on the surface. And if it moves too smoothly, that's horrible. Lost it. Good. At one point, I thought about being as budget-minded as with electronics, but if you spend a lot of time on a phone, put a lot of demand on a good phone, same with laptops and desktops. I hear you. I don't know. Are you saying that you're going to spend more on a phone because you use it so much, you're saying? I mean, I buy whatever phone is appropriate, but I don't know if I spend a lot or a little. I mean, pretty much buy all my phones on the payment plans or whatever through the company too. So I guess I don't really know if I'm spending a lot. I do want to get whatever the new Galaxy is. The slow motions and the zooms and stuff look pretty awesome. Although I don't really use that stuff now. That was a wrong button. Mid and large desktops are more cooling. Oh, you mean like offer more cooling for a gaming PC? If you're running games at the highest specs, you run pretty hot. Oh yeah, I run pretty hot. Nowhere near as hot as like a gamer going for hours or nothing, but I mean definitely if I was doing animation, that's what I'd like to do is take these things and turn them into cartoons, right? But to do animation, I don't think it would max this one out, but it would certainly run it as hot as this thing's going to get. But that's what I'm thinking. A desktop would be good for doing that. And then 3D rendering, I haven't played around with that at all, but I have watched people, and I could see that being useful. For some of the explanatory stuff, seeing things in addition to animation, I guess 3D graphical rendering stuff could be neat, like the visual effects and stuff could be used to sort of elaborate on, on concepts and stuff to help illustrate a concept or something. Where you can't just take a picture of a thing, like where you need some sort of, I don't know what to call it, like, illustration or some sort of help understand it. This didn't work. It's not too bad. I think I'm going to leave it and try to mess with the color this time. Alright, so flip this over to fill. Cabbage for my boogler. Cat cooking cabbage for my boogler. Some people spending hundreds of dollars on phones, maybe thousands. Since I'm not a phone heavy user, I never understood somebody could spend that much. Oh, I see what you're saying. Well, I would only spend, I mean, I buy them, like I say, on payment, so I don't really know how much my phones cost. I'm sure they cost hundreds of bucks. They probably cost as much as a tablet, right? I mean, they gotta be expensive, I suppose. But anyway, I bought this one, I don't even remember anymore, years ago. But I get years out of them. I definitely don't buy a phone every year or nothing. But my phone is everything, or I use my phone for everything, so I don't have to buy a camera anymore. And if you had just a desktop and a phone, you probably wouldn't need a laptop unless you needed something specifically on a laptop. But I hear you. Buying a phone just for gizmos and widgets and stuff, I can't get. I don't get that. Although, I don't know, I see some kids that are young peoples that are using them for, delivery apps and Uber and Facebook and, so many different apps that they might need a larger phone just to deal with the apps. Like at this point, I have a lot of stuff on my phone, but I don't have anything extra. I don't have any games at all. I don't have Facebook at all. I have Instagram and then a couple of apps that I use with Instagram. And then I've got, drawing and stuff, but, smaller apps. But I'd say my biggest app is probably Instagram. So I would assume if my phone is getting full, at capacity with just Instagramming, that if you were gaming or something and Instagramming, or if you were Facebooking and Instagramming, that you would probably need a bigger phone then. So I'm not saying I'm pretty much at capacity, I guess, but that's nice. But I can't imagine justifying too much expense on a phone. Although if you get insurance and stuff, I guess who cares, right? You're not throwing that money away. You'll still be insured. I can't get the blue out of her eyes for nothing. So I'm going to quit trying, and I'll just make it up. Go down to here. Do this. Yeah, I'm not doing good. Some days you feel it, some days you don't feel it. And I ain't feeling it today, but can't fight it. Can't make the feel. But you can always come back and do them later again or something when you are feeling it. That's what I'll just do. All right, so this ain't working because her hair is way down here. Come on. Not gonna work either. Sorry. Side of her hair. She looks like an elf. They got the blue hair. See if I can pull her hair. Oh, oh, that's what I'm going with right there. So that's what we're going with. Like I say, I don't try to get them perfect, and I can always go back and redo them. But this gets me started. Hopefully Foss is okay with this one. I'll tidy this up a little bit. I'll take you to the site. I think if I seen her in, was anybody out there that was in Virginia last year? Was she at the DC rally? For some reason, I think I've seen her in real life, but not like nobody ever introduced me or nothing. So if I did see her, it was like, oh, I know who she is type of thing, but I didn't get introduced her. So, there we go. Oh, what happened there? What the hell did I do? So here, and then Alt, and then here, this, Alt. Alright, well, I can fight it all day, or I can make her skin like blue, and then I can find it, right? So I can go back, click on this, click on this, and I click on this, and now I can see the thing that I'm looking for. Look like that. Make this look like this. So how is this even happening? What the hell? Alright, I'm not complaining. I did it, so I'm done. If I ever quit doing 2A stuff and then I start like an airline to Asia, this is going to be the commercial, the song that we use in the commercials. You'll see things like a comfortable seat in the airplane. And like showing up and meeting your relatives at the airport. Everybody's having a good time. This is the music that'll play in the background. This is what Kelly would look like if she came from Mars, or that world that what's that world where Avatar comes from? That world. Oh snap! That's a good color. Should I leave it right there? Shit! If I screw with it, I can go undo. I think. Oh, see, I screwed with it almost immediately. I kind of like that one too, though. Leaving it at that. All right, so we're closing this, and we're calling this Kelly. Export. Oh, first let's save this whole payment button. Oh no, I think I should mess with those eyebrows because her thing is she's got big eyebrows, right? So I'm going to. Oh. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna do this, I guess. and I'm gonna make this. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna do it like this, I guess. All right. Now I'm gonna make this just really, really big. Oh, nice. Over here. There, 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 and then there. Now I'm gonna try to. How is that wide? All right, so now we're gonna go to wide. Okay, you're not gonna be wide. You're just gonna be like that. So we're gonna go to here, and we're gonna make that. Wait, what I can do? Let's do this one. It's pretty damn close. Oh, it's not okay. All right, so now if I do that, and then snap to this, okay. Snap that color to this. What are you doing? Oh, I see what's happening. So I need to snap it to this. You don't like that? I don't know if that was any better. That look any better? I don't think so. I'll get rid of that. I'll just leave it like that. All right. Shove it in here. What? Oh, because it's a JPEG. So now we'll go to images, click on one so that we get the format we want, and then add her name to the end. Now she's in there alphabetically, and she's a PNG, so she's got a transparent background for some other projects. Boom. So now we can save that, and we'll go see what people are saying over here. How far back were we? Let's see, dropping hundreds on phones. We looked at that one. I buy cheap phones and high-priced guns. Okay. Couple of models behind the newest model. I'll drop that. Carrie was at a rally? What are we talking about? Kelly? But there's cheaper phone options. Definitely can get cheaper phones. Fort Scott had some defensive ammo. Some 9mm Avatar, yep. All right. Have we really been live for an hour and 20 minutes? Dang. So now I can take this and minimize it, and now we can close out of that picture. And I go over here. And I don't like this sound. It almost sounds like a phone's ringing. I guess I have to upload the image, find the image, it's KKKK, Kelly. And once it shows up over here, go back to document and add her to the featured image and update. And now, thanks to Foss, I don't know if we saw it there or not. I do think he is. Thank you very much. Now Kelly is in at Man University. So if somebody goes in here and clicks on 2A activists and they scroll down. Oh, I did mess up. So this is always a fun one, I guess. It's one that's, what's the word? Discreet. I should be doing this discreetly, maybe. And then I'll write in birthday. Sometimes people post their birthdays, and other times there'll be like a post saying, blah, 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 is so and so years old today. Or in this case, there's just some website that tells you all about how old you are and when you were born. So I guess I don't think this is right. It's possible that she was born on 1/1, but maybe not. But that's saying she's born in 67. So we'll keep going. That's some kind of weird site. Oh shit, she's 132. I didn't realize she's that old. She looks really good for 132. Oh, maybe it's page 142. So this is Beth Elazar. Who knows all these chicks? This is Kat Ainsworth. Natalie Foster. This has to be Natalie, I guess. No, this is Dawn Hillier. So this must be Natalie. And then, no, Cheryl Todd. And this is the chick that runs that museum that has a bunch of guns in Wyoming. Everybody says it's so good. Ooh, Frisco Gun Club. I haven't been there. All right, well, what page did it say she was on? 141? 132. Let's see it on 132. That has nothing to do with her, so fake. Am I gonna pick that she's 60? Does she look like she could be 60? But sometimes they'll be like, so-and-so, 62 years old today or something. So sometimes I'll look at articles and stuff.
Thank you. You know, I didn't come here today to pick a fight with anybody. I didn't come here today to argue with anybody. Okay.
Oh, thank you very much.
I just really came to stand here for the underrepresented voice of gun owners, which is women. You know, for more than a century, women have fought for all kinds of rights.
If I still add hers to the mix, but everything in orange is a female gun owners' rights group. So we got the Well-Armed Woman, we got Girl and a Gun, 1 Million Moms Against Gun Control, the DC Project, and Empowered. And now Armed and Feminine. So there's a couple organizations, but hardly, I don't know, I guess We the Female. Technically, I'm calling it female. Oh snap, somebody bought some. Amanda Suffolk. All right. So that I already did. So speaking of women, I'm going to go ahead and edit Kelly's to, what's the source she was saying?
The right for equality in hiring practices, and now equal rights for self-defense. And a lot of the legislation that we see that comes before us stands to be in the way of women having that right to self-defense. The gun can be an equalizer for women. You know, let's look at Tim. Men can be stronger and bigger in stature, and for women, you know, that's a problem. So the gun can be an equalizer. I have friends who have been raped at gunpoint in gun-free zones. I have women who have encountered brutal events where they now say that if they'd had a gun, the situation may have played out differently.
That's definitely an argument. I'm not going to suggest it's not an argument, but I think there's also an argument that all the people that don't get raped can think guns, because that's what stops criminals from becoming criminals in the first place, is the fear of lethal consequence. So I'm going to go back to the first one. Okay, I guess I'll go back to the first one. And it said that she's 53 in 1967. So I'm just going to go ahead and assume that. I don't know if she looks older than me or not. That's I'm not allowed to say that as a dude. So I'm just going to error, because I know I'm erroring on the side of what the internet tells me. I don't care about I'm going to put the date just because the internet's telling me that, but I doubt she was born on January 1st. That's pretty odd, pretty low odds. And it's pretty high odds that they just default to 1-1 if they only know the year. That's what I'm doing. So boom. The main reason I do that is so that when you look at the activist list, they're in some kind of reasonable order that they were born. So of the people who I know their birth dates, which is somewhere around here, I guess, when they'll end. I don't know people younger than that. They don't say their ages that often. And if they do, that they're in the right slot. But some of these people are obviously in the wrong slots. But of the people I know their ages, or think I do, oh, there you go. So it looks like she's right around what I consider to be the age of Cheryl. But anyway, we were talking about Amanda, right? Is that what you grabbed? So that was Tim again. Thanks for grabbing Amanda. So Amanda is the host of a radio show and a podcast. And I have her right here. Boom. I think she's one of the better ones I did. She looks like Scooby-Doo or something. Like, I don't know what I'm doing when I do it. Sometimes it comes out good and sometimes it don't. I think hers came out pretty damn good. I don't know if it looks like her. She likes it. I asked her if it was okay, and she said, yeah, she likes it. So it's good. Listen to Clover's version of her at
Here from
gun rights policy last year.
The host of Eye on the Target Radio, nationally syndicated. The cool part about the nationally syndicated radio show is I'm a woman, and I am the host. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that 10 years ago? But I digress.
That is pretty cool. A female host of a gun podcast or radio show. What about an Annie Oakley type? What do you mean? So, what are we talking about? Annie Oakley type of what? Annie Oakley type of phone? What kind of phone would Annie Oakley have? She would have whatever the coolest new phone is. Annie Oakley was the 11th movie ever made is Annie Oakley shooting guns. So she's the original gun bunny. The 11th movie ever made, period. The guy who invented movies, the 11th movie ever made has Annie Oakley in it. So she's one of the first people to ever be a movie star, literally. She was the first female star in this country. So she made a bunch of money. She died poor because she gave it all away. But she also, and she didn't live like fancy. She didn't live like a big house and then give it away. But I still think that she would probably have like whatever the best phone is. just because she would use it as a tool also, and she'd know that it would be an investment in being able to do her thing, right? That's what I think, but I don't know. Maybe somebody knows more about Annie Oakley. They could hypothesize what phone she would have. Maybe she'd have some bargain phone, some gold boomer phone. Otherwise, I think Annie Oakley is one of my favorites of all chicks. She's, from what I understand, she grew up all super poor and then kind of got screwed over as a youngin' and didn't let it phase her, and then needed to make money or eat. So she went out shooting to eat. And then at some point, this one dude comes along and says, because shooting was a big time thing back in the day. And then this guy comes into town and goes, I'll give $100 or something like, I'll give $100 to whoever can outshoot me. And then she was like 13 or 14. I think she was 14 or 15 or something. She comes up and outshoots him, makes $100, and then eventually marries that dude. And then they go on the road with Wild Bill in the Old West show, and then become like internationally famous and rich. And then she buys a house and goes and moves there and gives all her money away, inspires chicks. When she's like 80 or something like that, or 60, she goes out and shoots 99 out of 100 targets thrown in the air. So she never lost her skill. Well, she was definitely better than almost everybody at shooting. So, yeah, better than all chicks and dudes. There was some other good chick shooters, of course. But, yeah, that would be neat to see a movie about Annie Oakley. I think she's inspirational. But I'm not a chick. Maybe she ain't. But I think she's inspirational as just an American. It would be interesting to see a movie made that's not anti-gun about her and her story. Because she was competing with other chicks. So shooting was just a thing, like riding motorcycles or cooking or, I don't know, painting a building or something. Like it was just a thing that you could be good at, and everybody knew she was good at it, but other chicks were good at it. And there was other chicks in Wild Bill's thing, because Wild Bill didn't like that he was paying her more than him. I think she either made more than him or she made second only to him, something like that. Like she made as much money as was getting paid by the Wild West show. It was mostly going to her, and she gave it all away to people. So it's not like she was greedy. She was just getting paid for being the main attraction. She was the shit back in the day, and nobody gives her any attention because they hate women and they hate guns. So there you go. Try double factor. So yeah, I have, if you go to the Second Amendment advocates, we got Annie Oakley right at the top, only in order of, how old they are. So she just wasn't the first one built or first one born, but she's in my list of the top Second Amendment advocates, period. I mean, I guess you could say, something else could have been in the 11th movie ever made. But now there's guns in it because of her. Should have been in the second movie ever made. What was the first movie ever made? Anybody know that trivia question? What was the first movie? What was the point of the first movie? What was the first movie? What was the reason for the first movie? And what's neat is that, well, I guess it has nothing to do with guns, but the movies turned into, well, the internet. So thanks to the movies, we have the internet. So she had she was the sixth of 9 kids. So she had 8 brothers and sisters. She began trapping at 7, shooting at 8. She was paying the mortgage of her mom's farm when she was 18. Or she paid off the mortgage of her mom's farm when she was 15, sorry. Then she ran away from home. The place where she was living or whatever sucked, So I think she went back home, something like that. I didn't write her whole life in here, just trying to remember those pieces. I only wrote the gun stuff in here, I think. But then, let's see, 1881, so she would have been 21 years old. So she wasn't a baby. She was 21 years old. And this guy says, I'll bet you $100 I can outshoot anybody in wherever she was, like Ohio or somewhere. And she's like, all right. And then she won. And then the next year they marry each other. And then 2-3 years later, they join Buffalo Bill. She drives around. Okay, so she made more than everybody except for Buffalo Bill. So then she goes to Paris. She's in the world. She's world famous. She tried to get women into the army as snipers and sharpshooters, but they wouldn't let her, or the women. And then 1902, she leaves the Buffalo Bill show. She's in there was a stage show written for her. I don't remember if she was in it. Then in 2004, some article was written about her, and I forget what it said, but it said some bullshit about her. So she spends a good chunk of her fortune like taking people out for writing that bullshit about her, being slanderous about her, which it's interesting because if you look at history, if she would not have done that, if she would have just let that be, she might not be famous through all time. But because she went and addressed the slander, it allowed PR maybe, for history. I don't know what to call it. But basically she's, remained in history. Anyway, that's a big thing, and I don't know much about it. But it says she spent 6 years dealing with lawsuits and only lost one of 55 lawsuits. Can you imagine having to deal with 55 lawsuits? And that's in 1904. Even being wealthy, you could see how that could take a bunch of your money or your time or your soul. So then she builds a house in Maryland. She continued to set records, it says, into her 60s. And then in 1922, when she is 62 years old, she shoots 100 clay targets in a row, and that's some sort of record. Then she got in a car accident that same year. She had to walk in a brace. She dies of pneumonia 3 years later, and her husband dies 18 days later. Oh, there's Honda. See? Liar. You said it was going to be Friday, and it was today. No, just like you predicted, Friday. So, whatever. Fake news. That sucks. So they closed your place down, or they closed restaurants in, what do you call it? Colorado is what it sounds like. But you're serious? They told you never come back here again? We're shutting down our business? That sucks. But here, we're not talking about that stuff. This is an alternative to the doom and gloom. The guy who invented it played with it before making the movie. What are we talking about? Oh, the movie camera. No, it wasn't. There was a movie, though. The first movie. Let's see. I was asking everybody if they knew what the first movie was. Great Train Robbery. No, I mean the first time a camera was made into a movie, or big images were made into a movie. It's famous, yeah, and it's the horse galloping. I think it was a conversation got happening, and then it turned into a bet, and then it turned into a bet with rich enough people that said, "Well, let's find out." So they took a shit ton of cameras and a bunch of pieces of string, and they made it so that every time you flipped a piece of string or you tripped a piece of string, the camera would go off. And then they ran a horse down a line, like outside of a wall or something, and took a shit ton of pictures. And then they took all those pictures and stuck them together, and that turned into a strip of movie. And then they were like, holy shit, if you do this, it looks like the horse is moving. And then that's how movies were born. At least that's what I'm calling the first movie. I might be wrong. That's what I'm calling it. Everything. What's he saying everything for? Oh, he's saying they closed all of the stuff or whatever for 8 weeks. 8 weeks, that's 2 months. So, yeah, interesting. So, because of stuff like that, we're talking about 2A today. And tomorrow we're going to talk about robots. So, I'm not delusional. I'm just not interested in promoting, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. You can call it hype, or you can call it panic, or you can call it paranoia, or you can just call it living life. But I'm not going to dig too much into that. I'm sure there's a million sources you can get into that. This will be an alternative here today. Let's see if horses' hooves all came off the ground. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, like I say, that's kind of neat, actually. We started talking about that because of Annie Oakley and because she was in the 11th movie. But it's neat when you hear about I was watching something about the history of Silicon Valley, and that starts with that bet, because I think the people in that bet was Stanford. So some guy, was he rich from something, from horses, or no, he had a horse farm, but he was rich from something back east, maybe. He moves out to California. His son dies, so they create a fund, or what they call like a trust or whatever. They create a foundation or something, and then it becomes Stanford University in honor of the kid. And then Stanford, basically creates the internet. All right, so let's see. We were digging into drawing some cartoons today for, first off, Kellyanne Pigeon, who is female Second Amendment advocate and was on the list, is on the list over at Gear Websites. So I guess I'll bring that over here to show you what we're talking about. So Gear Websites is our store. And one of the things we have over there under professional services is sponsor a 2A activist. I could probably find a better place to put this, I suppose. But one of the projects we're doing is the Minuteman University, and we are attempting to archive our Second Amendment history. And in order to add some consistency for the images and for projects like this tree or this timetable that I'm showing here, we're creating cartoons of different 2A activists. So we've done a whole bunch of them over the last couple of years now. There's still a whole bunch more to do. So I have this drop-down list here, and there's just a whole list of people in here. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I can think of something else. But anyway, let's say somebody picked Jared from Guns and Gadgets, right? A YouTuber who's doing all kinds of work and stuff. We're charging $20, and that's basically for some time so that we can do this kind of stuff. Now let me pick somebody who we've already done, like Liberty Doll. It says sold out because we've already drawn that one. So Amanda was just grabbed by Boss. Thank you very much. And it says sold out because he just bought it. But a couple of these, if you were to purchase them, we've already done the person. Like trying to pick one that we've already done who might be in the list. Like we've already done Dave Kopp, but I've got him in the list. Just basically it's a way to donate $20. So anyway, I'm just throwing that out there. That's where we're kind of getting the direction today. So the first one was Kellyanne, and we had not done Kelly yet. So we just added her to the activist list and drew the cartoon. And as soon as I can find her in here, drew her cartoon. But then we also added Armed and Feminine, the I guess training facility. I guess that's the latest. What does it say? The World Firearms Training, let's see, born to bring the world of firearms training to women. I think that's what I would consider their, what do you call that, like their motto or their byline. So I'm gonna post that in here real quick. Okay, we added that, at least for now, we've added it to the list. We'll have to go back and update a lot of these. I have to know my abilities here. I only have so much time and so much attention I can put to each of these things. So just having them in the list is great. Eventually I can go back and see which one of these are missing data or could be updated, and I'll spend time on that. But for now, we're using the someone adding the cartoon to the cart to add not just the cartoon to our project, but also Kelly to the list and then her organization to the list. And now if we scroll down to 2015, we'll see it in here with a lot of the other female organizations. If I scroll all the way to 15, we'll find it in here. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So then again, if we click on female, it's tagged with all the other female activists, lawyers, researchers, podcasters, and organizations. Boom. So I turned this off when I was listening to the speech before, so I'll turn that back up a little bit. With all that, we're almost 2 hours in. A little earlier, we had an adventure when the little puppy went up to the front door. We had the front door open because I had some mail going out, and I like to listen so that I can hear any burglars try to steal my mail, and I can hear when the mail lady goes by. But puppy likes to watch the mail lady go by too, so she went out by the door to look out the door, and because it's windy, I guess some boxes fell over. I got a whole shit ton of boxes stuck by the door right now, and these boxes fell over. Empty boxes, one box deep. So like a box that you would put like a hard drive in, fell on the floor, and the dog was perplexed. She couldn't figure out how to get away from the door, so she started crying. I had to go show her how to get away from the door. So we had a little bit of baby excitement earlier, a little puppy baby excitement. But that reminded me when I was going through the explanation of what we're doing here today. I think it was Foss. Somebody had purchased a Tom Selleck picture. And I totally forgot about it because Tom Selleck, I don't think of him as a two-way activist. But how do you spell Selleck? What's the deal? So when me and Haas went to NRA Museum in 2012, we got a tour of the whole building. It was kind of neat, at least most of the building that the museum is involved with. So we got to go to the museum, but then we went upstairs to the library and the room where they, I guess, fix, I forget what they call it, not the restoration, maybe it was called the restoration room, but where they fix and clean guns that come in. People donate their entire collections to the NRA Museum. When they die, people donate their guns to the NRA. And they go to the NRA Museum, and when they do, they go through this room where they get cleaned and figured out what they are and that kind of stuff. So that was a neat room. But while we were in that room, all of Tom Selleck's guns are in there. I guess they weren't on display. They were just in this room. So it was, I'm trying to remember now. It was a couple of guns. I haven't seen every Tom Selleck movie. So it was a couple of guns from some movie. And then, I have to ask Haas, or I'd have to go look at my pictures. I wonder if I can go look at my pictures. Holy crap. What are we talking about? What year is this? Let's go see if we can look at these on a picture or not. That would have been the 2012 Gun Show Loophole Tour. Anyway, so there was a bunch of Tom Selleck guns in that room. So I know he's an advocate for giving his guns to the NRA Museum, but look at this, Museum, Virginia, NRA. What the hell is this? I have like 4 pictures in here. So this obviously isn't all of my pictures. This is just some pictures that I stuck in this folder. But let's see what we got. Maybe this is a picture from the room I'm talking about. But this is just a random guns, I think. So this was that visit. This is the first time I went to the NRA Museum, I think. So this might have been the first time I went in 2012. You park in kind of come through the museum and you park in this back room here. It's kind of neat. This is the range. Underneath where I'm parked right here is the range. So literally underneath of that white car is where this sign is. Like right there is the range. You've got, what the hell is this? This is the coolest 9mm ever. This is revolver that has a suppressor in the Billy Club. I think that was New York issue or some shit. Some AKs from down in the cellar. This is what it looks like when you go into where people donate their guns to the NRA. This is where the guns go, in this room down here. This is what that room looks like. Piece of that room. That looks like what one corner of that room looks like. And then this is, oh, wait a minute. This might be from downstairs too. Dang it. No, this is the room upstairs. So this is upstairs in the NRA Museum. If we look at this picture, the museum is right here in the west wing, I think. It's either the south or the west. I don't know what you'd call it. And then the museum is down here. The vault is down underneath of everything, way below all of this stuff, below the range and everything, underneath of everything. This is kind of ground. This is on a hill. So this is ground, but right now we're standing like 3 stories up in the range. Anyway, it's hard to say. But the vault is way the hell down underneath the ground over here. But the archive room where they fix the guns and stuff is up in this wing somewhere, like up in here, I imagine. I don't know how many floors up we were, maybe 3 or 4 floors up over here. And that's where Tom Selleck's guns were, and that was behind this rack. I took a picture of this rack. If I would have turned around, that's where Tom Selleck's guns were. But I just thought these were more interesting, a bunch of weird looking guns. Who can ID the guns on this table? Let me get this bigger. This. Should be able to at least identify one each. Each person should be able to identify at least one gun in this picture. Go. As soon as you got an assignment, everybody leaves. We're down to 9 viewers now because I gave you a job to do. I've got a brass version of this thing. This is probably the real version. Double action. These look like starter pistols. This looks like it could be the table at a gun show or something. This is probably somebody's collection that they donated to the NRA. I wonder how many guns they keep and how many they like just sell to a gun shop or something. This definitely looks like a collection of somebody's guns that died or something and then gave it to the NRA. I own that gun. I own one of these guns. I think I own something similar to that gun. Wish I owned that gun. This is a BB gun. I own the cheap version of this. I own one of these. A little tiny one of these. I have every cheap gun in that list. So anyway, Tom Selleck. I got to figure out what we're going to do with them. Because I don't really have a place on the website for actors, but the idea was that he's a NRA board of director, and I've done a couple of things on the Minuteman University site. For example, if you type in AMCON, which is, I don't know how they call it AMCON, but it's the 2A media thing that happens right before NRA's policy conference. I attempted to list all the people who've been to AMCON, right? And then I did the same thing for the DC project. So if you type in DC project, you'll get lists of who participated in the DC project so that we archive this stuff and to give credit to the people who've been doing 2A work, right? But then I was thinking about doing the same thing for NRA board of directors. There's 75, so it seems like a whole lot, but you could also say there's only 75 at a time. And was it every couple of years they rotate out? I don't know. But I mean, in other words, it's a list that could be made. I don't know if I'm not interested or it needs to be made or anything. And I know there's at least one site that archived it. The problem is the site that archives it is is gun prohibitionists. They're anti-gun and anti-NRA. They're archiving it because they hate the NRA. And that's the kind of shit that bothers me. Since I can do the same thing, I'd rather do it pro-NRA, even though I'm not super happy about every decision that's been made by the membership to allow the unscrupulous leaders of the organization to do what they've done to it. Archiving history is the point here. So that's why I got Tom Selleck in the list. So I don't know what to do with him on the Minuteman University page. I'll have to create all that, or at least start creating that. But first we'll draw a picture of Tom Selleck. So now the question is, which Tom Selleck? Because I believe there's probably easily 24 pictures of Tom Selleck online. Which version of Tom Selleck do we draw a picture of? I think a lot of people would jump to the Quigley, but then you got your Magnum, and then you've got your guy from Runaway. That is the robot angle. You got your Blue Blood, your more recent. It's been in 45 plus movies. Anybody ever watch Stone Cold? It's like a bunch of grandma novels that they've turned into movies. Actually, he's done quite a few westerns, I guess, huh? The Last Stand at Saber River, I don't think I've seen that. The Sackets, I don't think I've even heard of that. Road to China, I barely remember hearing about that. I might have seen it. Jesse Stone are these kind of like old Magnum PI, maybe. Like if Magnum PI was like a sheriff and then retired, that would be Jesse Stone. What the hell? This isn't Tom Selleck anymore. Oh shit, he was in that show Ike. Has anybody seen Ike? That's actually pretty damn good. Same G for him. I like the Magnum ones. Then I could put Dobermans next to him. Are you saying that Tom Selleck was in the Rockford? Oh yeah, Tom Selleck was in the Rockford Files. He's this one jerk that messes with Rockford once in a while. Now I totally remember. Yeah, Tom Selleck was in Rockford Files. That would be pretty good too. Like an old-fashioned 70s version of Tom Selleck. There's the Runaway one. I remember Las Vegas. It said it was on for 5 years. Holy shit. Coma? The 7 minutes. What's this all about? Defends a bookstore owner for selling pornography. I don't know what G means. We got one vote for Magnum. We're not getting any other. All right, well, I'm not getting any other feedback. I'm going to have to go with the Magnum. So we'll go to, just type in Tom Selleck again, and we'll go to images, and we'll see what shows up. Although if it's NRA, it's probably something like this. Because whenever you see him in NRA stuff, he's this old. Happens when you type in Tom Selleck guns. Anybody know if this guy's pro-gun? Does he go around talking about guns or whatever?
Right, but I think that the reason that people are so extreme against the NRA is because the NRA has such a militant strength, especially in power in Washington, to veto or to stronghold any sensible gun law. They have been against every sensible gun law until yesterday, including trigger locks, so that children, which there are 500 a year that die, don't get killed.
I'm not supposed to. In fact, all I can tell you is I was a member when I was a kid, as a junior NRA member. I learned firearm safety. And from what I see in the last 3 months, they don't do a lot of the stuff that you assume they do.
Well,
They
I
are
don't
for
see it.
trigger locks. They're for a lot of things, as long as they're voluntary.
Well, they're against the registering of guns. We have to register cars. Why shouldn't we register guns so that when a crime is committed, we can trace who is owning it?
You know, I understand how you feel. This is a really contentious issue. Probably as contentious and potentially as troubling as the abortion issue in this country. All I can tell you is the rushes to pass legislation at a time of national crisis and mourning, I don't really think are proper. And more importantly, nothing in any of this legislation would have done anything to prevent that awful tragedy in Littleton. What I see in the work I've done with kids is a troubling direction in our culture, and where I see consensus, which is what I think we ought to
Can you hear this?
in our culture is, look, nobody argues anymore whether they're conservative or liberal, whether our society is going in the wrong direction. They may argue trying to quantify how far it's gone wrong or why it's gone that far wrong, whether it's guns or television or the internet or whatever. But there's consensus saying that something's happened. Guns were much more accessible 40 years ago. A kid could walk into a pawn shop or a hardware store and buy a high-capacity magazine weapon that could kill a lot of people, and they didn't do it. The question we ought to be asking is, look, suicide is a tragedy. And it's a horrible thing. But 30 or 40 years ago, particularly men and even young men, when they were suicidal, they went and unfortunately blew their brains out. In today's world, someone who is suicidal sits home, nurses their grievance, develops a rage, and it's just as suicidal, but they take 20 people with them. Something changed in our culture. That's not a simple.
But you can't say that guns don't bear a responsibility. If the
No, you
makers of the
can't say-
10-9 assault rifle, why would the NRA be against the assault rifle? This is a gun that can shoot 5 bullets in a second. This is the gun that those boys brought into the school. Why the NRA wouldn't say it's a matter of compromise? We agree. Assault rifles are not good.
I can't speak for the
But you're their
NRA.
spokesperson, Tom.
I
So
am
you
not
have to
a
be responsible
spokesperson.
for what they say. But if you put your name out and say, I,
don't
Tom
put words in
Selleck,
my mouth. I'm not a spokesperson.
But you're saying that
now you're questioning my humanity.
no, not your humanity. I think you're a very humane man. I'm
Okay,
saying
well,
that if
let's
you
just
say,
I disagree with you, but I think.
but you can't say that I will not take responsibility for anything the NRA represents if you're saying that you're going to do an ad for the NRA. You can't say that. Do you think you can?
You're carefully skirting the issue. It's an act of moral vanity, Rosie, to assume that someone who disagrees with your political agenda to solve our problem cares any less or is any less.
I never said you cared less. Tom, I don't think you cared less. Nor do I think the men in the NRA cared less. I simply said, and the women. I simply said, why can there not be a compromise on the
There is a
issue?
compromise. There's a compromise in enforcing laws. There's a compromise in not allowing kids with guns in school. The problem is, what you don't seem to realize, you seem to have some sort of, look, we all hang out with people we agree with, and you have a very one-sided view of the fact. What you don't understand is laws that
As does the NRA, and the people you hang out with in the NRA have a one-sided view as well. Okay, well, you're saying I hang out with people with my views. I'm just saying, we all tend to. The NRA does, the un-NRA does.
You know, this is a nice one-sided conversation, but you keep interrupting me. Remember how civil you said you were
I let you talk for 4 minutes without saying one thing. I did. I didn't say one thing. I simply asked the question about what their philosophies are. And you don't want to.
told you. When do you want to get to television and violence?
I agree.
Game shows.
I agree. Game shows?
And how do you reconcile it? What?
You need video games? I agree.
Please let me finish. Let me just say one thing. What you're really talking about, what I'm talking about, is are we a responsible enough society in terms of television, in terms of guns, in terms of everything else to be this free? That should frame the debate. My answer, unfortunately, in this culture is probably not. But I'm going to go down with the civil liberties ship in all the Bill of Rights and apply them equally. That's the way I feel. You can ask me specific questions about anything, but it's simply stupid political rhetoric.
Well, it's not stupid political fire in a crowded movie theater because it threatens the safety of other people. Assault weapons threaten the safety of other people. There's no reason, in my opinion, to have them. You want to have a hunting rifle? Great. You want to have a handgun?
Do you really think the Second Amendment is in the Constitution to guarantee hunting and targeting? You really think that's?
I think the Second Amendment is in the Constitution so that we can have muskets when the British people come over in 1800. I don't think it's in the Constitution to have assault weapons in the year 2000. But I'm wrong. I guess. This is the problem. Here's what happens. People with opposing views, there is no compromise. You feel attacked, I feel attacked. You feel misunderstood. Well, I think that it's in a different.
I disagree with you.
And I disagree with you as well. But mine comes in the form of attacking you.
I haven't mentioned assault weapons once. I haven't mentioned a lot of things once. I just, the nature of this debate, I didn't come on your show to have a debate. I came on your show to plug a movie. That's what I'm doing here.
And that's what we
think
do.
it's proper to have a debate about the NRA. I'm trying to be fair with you.
And I am trying to.
Absurd. You're calling me a spokesman for the NRA.
Tom, if you're a celebrity and you're doing an ad that says that if I am the NRA, then what should have been
Have you read the ad?
I have read the ad. Did you read the ad?
I said that. I read what I
Okay, well, I do too. And, this is not supposed to be a personal affront, and it's not. I don't say
Well,
that
it's
you're.
certainly very entertaining. Look at the audience. Laughing, having a great old.
Well, it's a serious subject. I don't think it's a lot to laugh about.
It's fine.
All right, well, this has not gone the way that I had hoped that it had gone, but I would like to thank you for appearing anyway, knowing that we do have different views. I was happy that you decided to come on the show, and if you feel insulted by my questions, I apologize because it was not a personal attack. I was meant to bring up the subject as it is in the consciousness of so many today. That was my intent, and if it was wrong, I apologize to you on a personal level.
It's your show. And you can talk about after too.
So I thought I would give you an opportunity to discuss your side, which is what I hope that I did, and if it was wrong, I'm sorry for that. All right, obviously, it didn't do much good. But The Love Letter is a great movie with Kate Capshaw, Tom and Ellen DeGeneres. That is the reason you're here, and I thank you for coming to talk about it. It opens on Friday. Tom Self, we'll be right back with Jake Floyd.
Could you hear that? I don't know. That was pretty interesting. I don't know if I ever listened to that before. But that's a pretty obvious attempt to, well, successful attempt, right? At like not letting the guy even get his point out. And then framing the whole thing in like, oh, I wasn't allowed to ask you these questions type of bullshit ass. What's that like? What's the name of that? When you, that tactic. But anyway, yeah, that whole like non-stop suggestion. Then it suggests at the end that she gave him 4 minutes to talk. Really? What was that? When was that for? Ay. Did I mess up? I messed up. This. I think this looks that much like Tom Selleck. I was hoping to get this interview though because he did a pretty decent job, I guess. If anybody was gonna to not shy away or break to back down. And it's a pretty good example of not being prepared to talk about something that you just think is a given. But he parried her what would you call like tactics pretty good. And you could tell that he was comfortable enough in his awareness of firearms to not be led into anything or to say anything too stupid or anything, just to say something. What color eyes does he got? Does anybody know what color eyes? What's this guy's name again? Magnum PI's got? Probably brown. I don't think he's this pink in real life. I looks like the guy who plays the guy who is Han Solo's kid more than Magnum PI. I wish they bring up cars that they would point out that one is a right, the other is a privilege. I guess. Cars we use every day, guns we don't. I don't know. There's definitely things with cars and guns that are good and things that don't really work. One video. That's the Rosie episode where she started hating Selleck. Yeah, I bet, because she didn't get whatever. He remained calm and didn't react the way she wanted. She couldn't trigger him. Is that what I say? And you can tell that bothers her because she's definitely used to the echo chamber. She's used to not being challenged at all in her rhetoric. Like, oh yeah, guns are horrible. Guns are more dangerous than muskets. So therefore, you're right. You figured something out, Rosie. I don't think those would look like Tom Selleck. I don't know what I'm going to do with these yet either. And if it turns out the guy who's Han Solo's kid is pro-gun, then we got a picture of him already. We don't have to even worry about it. Nothing like what he's wearing. But I'm not going to put a black shirt on the guy, so we're going to leave it like this. And then we can go like this, like this, like this. Grab his name. Now we technically have a really bad Tom Selleck. But here's the thing. In the future, they're going to know who Tom Selleck is probably. And now people know who Tom Selleck is. So we don't need to advertise Tom Selleck that Brown? Okay, thanks. Not that I remember his eyes, I just don't remember Magnum having blue eyes for some reason. So. And green would make you think of a color too, so I figured they're brown. Alright, so now I can save that. And now I get rid of Tom Selleck. I guess I should put Tom Selleck in here somehow. How do I do that though? I don't know how to do it. Tom Selleck. Picture. STTT, boom. Ugh, it definitely doesn't look like Tom Selleck. Go like this. I don't know what to call him. Is he a 2A activist? I'm going to call him a 2A activist. He could have not done that show. He could have not been in the NRA. He's an actor. No one would have even questioned him. Nobody questions any actor who doesn't do anything worth a shit. So he could have definitely not done it. So I'll call him those two things. We'll call him an activist. We got to figure out when he was born. I guess I'm going to just go like this. Tom Selleck. Oh, look at that. And then I make it post on the date that he was born, 1945. So January. So he's an actual boomer, huh? 29. All right, so now we got Tom Selleck in there. always look once I know their date to figure out where they fit in the list. So it looks like he's younger than. No, I guess so. No, he's not showing up in here. What the hell? So, there it is. Back a couple of times. To a activist. Is he showing up? Go check that day again. 1945. Okay. So he should be showing up right here. Why is he not showing up? Showing up at all. Is it sent to private or something? What about this is glitching it? It's public, standard, it's a post. Oh. Oh, it's because it doesn't have an image, maybe? Just not seeing it? That's probably what it is. I'm probably just an idiot. Alright, so now I'll go back to activists. 1945. He was probably just getting crammed in with Larry Pratt's without a picture. You just didn't see it. He definitely looks goofy as hell. Doesn't look like Tom Selleck at all. So that's a fail. Alright, what do we got over here? What's the video? You still haven't shown me the video. The full beard looks weird because it's known as mustache. Yeah, that's probably it. I probably should have. I'll do one with like a flower shirt or whatever, Hawaiian shirt at some point. I agree with you. It was a little weird for Tom Selleck. All right, so it is. We're 2 hours in, and I really just wanted to create a place to chat about something besides the hype. Hopefully, everybody's doing okay, and keep an eye on the horizon and not right in front of you. It's just like walking with ice, right? Looking straight ahead, everything's fine. Pay attention to the water, and it smells all over the place. No, walking with ice. Walking with ice trays. How about that? So before we head out, we'll just tag the comments here a couple of times. I did a little bit of updating to the Minuteman University. That's how it gets built. That's how all this happens. A couple hours at a time. Back in the day, if I was in a live chat or something, I'd scribble a cartoon out here and there, add stuff to the thing. As I listen to an interview or I hear about something, I'll add them to the list. And then we use these lists for projects like these, like this timeline, trying to accumulate, archive everything that's happened so that we know who to thank, whose shoulders we stand on today, and how we see the view we've got, how it came to be. And so many of us appear in this list somewhere, don't realize all the stuff that's happened to get us to appear up at the top like this. And we know we're not the top, we're just the next. And after us will come something else. So whatever we lay down on top of what was put down before us will be the foundations for what comes next, right? So you keep that in mind and not the whatever else, the options, then hopefully everybody's happy. Keep moving. All right, well, so without that, nobody's saying much. 8 people watching. There's probably stuff corking out there. Corking opportunities happening. What is today? Monday? So Matt will be live at some point. John Crump goes live on Mondays. we'll have the Daily Gun Show coming up tonight. And then tomorrow, I'll probably go live for a while and draw robots. We'll talk about, maybe not draw robots, but we'll talk about robots. Got a couple of robot projects coming up. And we'll allude to those. We'll probe into those a little bit. Poke some robot feelers out there. Yeah, I feel like I'm talking to myself. People are leaving. So with that, we'll end it here. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for being part of Distraction, Diversion, a little time on 2A. Back pick up later. As soon as I say goodbye, everybody starts chatting. So, doing any 2A rallies in the Northwest anytime soon? I ain't doing shit because I haven't even paid last month's mortgage. I want to travel very much, but I don't just get the opportunity to travel whenever. So, what was the word? I extended myself too far in past years traveling, and now I'm setting on the bills from those traveling, from those trips. So, I'm not going anywhere, but there are rallies. So if we go to guncalendars.com, where we archive our Second Amendment history, one of the reasons for that project is to make people aware. So we've got a 2A rally tab there. So if you go to Gun Calendars and click on 2A rallies, try to keep everything current here. So since we are now in March and we just had the Hold the Line one, the next thing will be iGold. But did I hear that iGold got canceled? Ozzy is out there. I think he told me iGold got canceled, which pisses me off. So then the next thing after that is Jefferson, Missouri. So Gun Rights Rally, Jefferson, Missouri. First, let's go to Tucson, since we're all driving from Tucson. And then we'll get directions to Jefferson City, Missouri. The one after that is in Olympia, Washington. So directly answer your question. The next one is in Olympia, Washington on April 18th. Come on, what are you doing here? So now we got April 7th. I don't know if iGold, is Ozzy out there yet? I'm pretty sure iGold got canceled. Let me type it in here. Is iGold canceled? Thing about Illinois, lots of old people in Illinois. Super old. And yeah, April 1, iGold canceled. Illinois State Rifle Association reported this evening that iGold April 1 has been canceled. They rescheduled it for Wednesday, May 13th. So I have the calendar right now. Back, edit. What was that? That was Illinois. Come on, let me do a thing. Can you let me do a thing? Can you let me do a thing? Strike through. Oh no, leave this. Don't strike through that, but strike through this. I like strike through. Can't always do strike through. So now we'll do boom. And then I guess I'm just gonna copy all this. And then I'll highlight this in bold. And then what is that? May 13th? April, May. Go here, insert a separator, go to the separator, insert a paragraph, since I did that wrong. Paste, and then move this up one. And then do this. And then we don't know what time, so we'll just leave the time. This. And I'll save. Right, so now it's tentatively in there. This is all WordPress. I'm just using WordPress. So now I can go back and view that page and we can get back to it. So we got iGold's not happening. What was after iGold? Right. Rally to Defend the Second is also on March or on April 18th in Minnesota. So that's not helping you. We got Rally for Your Rights. That's also on the 18th in Oklahoma. That's not helping you. We got one in Georgia. We got one in Ohio. One in San Diego, New York, Pennsylvania, Texas, Michigan. Sorry, I thought there was another one in Washington. Maybe I heard of another one in Washington, but I haven't posted it up here because it hasn't been like confirmed. Because sometimes people are just, especially like 6 months out, people are like, oh yeah, we're having one too. But they don't post any, I don't know, they don't post anything like a flyer or some sort of an actual announcement on a platform where they're actually inviting people, then I don't, if I just see one post that alludes to it, I don't put it in my list. If I see an actual thing that people are invited to, I add it to the list. But I thought I saw one for Washington also. I keep the computer on a thing like the height of a, I don't know what to call it. It's like 3 feet in the air. You know, it's not a regular table or anything. It's like up in the air like a counter. So I stand at the computer most of the time. And when I sit, I'm sitting in a bar stool type of thing. So I'm still kind of standing, you know, not sitting on the ground, which is good. I like it, except that when things fall on the ground, then it's a pain in the ass. So I was going to end it, and then a bunch of people asked a bunch of questions, so we went in and addressed it. I was just going to see if I tried to get to 2 rallies, how much that would cost me. So right now I'm at 3,400 miles just to go to Jefferson City and then up to Washington. Now, could I do that? Jefferson is on April 7th, and it's only barely March. So I could technically get to Jefferson City, Missouri. And Jefferson City, Missouri is just right in the middle of Missouri. So that would get me past the NRA Museum again, which I would hang out at. It would get me past the lead mines in Oklahoma, which I would hang out at again for a long time. And then it looks like you would go through Kansas, boring, Mississippi River. That looks super interesting. That whole drive looks super interesting. I didn't even know there was a road up and down the Mississippi River. So that would be interesting. Going across South Dakota would be ultimately interesting because last year I had to decide, or no, 2 years ago, I had to decide, should I go to North Dakota or South Dakota? And since I'd been to South Dakota before, I went North Dakota. And it snowed the entire time. So I didn't do nothing except drive through a snowstorm. I didn't see nothing in North Dakota at all. So South Dakota would definitely be a cool drive. It would hit a quarter of Wyoming. I would see all that chunk of Montana, which I'd be down for that, definitely. See a bit of Idaho, see some Washington. Fine, I don't have a problem with that. And then I'd have to come home. So let's do this in the right order, not be dumb about it, and then have to come home to Tucson. That would be the interesting part. If I came home this way, I could bring guns with me, right? Because I don't even cross a gun prohibitionist state at all. Just route. But it's hard to drive that close to San Francisco and everything and not come home through California. So if I was going to take this trip, I'd have to debate coming home through San Francisco because that's the redwoods, and I would not mind driving home through California. I have never been to Reno though, so and I don't know where the hell this is. I've never been here either, so I wouldn't mind this, but I don't know how interesting that would be. And when would this be? This would be sometime after April 18th, so not super hot yet. It might be a good time to drive through this area. But I think I'd rather go down, try to find Haas. He lives in Oregon somewhere. And then go down, maybe see Doc, USNER Doc in Oregon. There's got to be other people in Oregon. and then come back through California. But then I wouldn't be able to bring guns, and that's a hell of a long trip to not bring guns. Looks like we're talking 5,000 miles to go to 2A rallies. I don't think that's happening. If I get a sugar mama, the right kind of sugar mama, or a couple of sugar mamas, then I'm done. I can pay off a couple of bills that I got, get in the car, get in the van, I guess. So if I had a sugar mama in somewhere in this area, and a sugar mama in somewhere in this area, they'd be far enough apart to not conflict. Then I'd be good to go. So if you know of a sugar mama somewhere in the Midwest, sugar mama in the Northwest, that are looking to pay a lot of money to have some dude drive around in a van, little boy fluffy dog, let them know. I'm giving my email. Let's see, I don't think so with the ban on congregating. Oh, iGold, you mean? You're up in here, Olympia. Vancouver? Oh, that's why you were saying Vancouver. I thought there was one in Oregon coming up. I don't know about Oregon. Do you people even have 2A rallies in Oregon? I guess it's possible. I don't remember seeing one. Right on. I'm looking for rooms as much as usually I'm looking for a place to stay. Like when I go to Denver, or when I went to Denver, that was a tough one because everybody ran you out. I would assume Washington and Oregon are going to be like that because you guys got to be infested by hippies, vagrants, bums, that kind of thing. So they don't want those kind of people just sitting around. Like I've heard that in Oregon, there's not even parking, right? So that's the kind of thing that I'm looking for is a place to put the van. So I do appreciate it though, but I'm not traveling. This is just a wish list of what would happen if I get a sugar mama. But whatever, 5,000 miles at, I think conservatively 13 miles a gallon. I think this is the time to do it when there's a situation like this and the gas prices go down, but I wish I was independently wealthy and I could take advantage of travel when the gas prices are low, but I'm at the whim of the sugar mamas. I know, but with that, kept it going for a little bit longer. We'll keep going tonight on the Daily Gun Show. Until then, go check out the Patreon. There's a place, it's a platform for participation in content creation. So if you enjoy what we're doing, take $20, go over to Patreon, give us $2, and then take the other 18 and play Lord of the Internet. And like if you were the boss of the internet, you decide where you're going to give your other $18 to. And I encourage you to give it to 9 other people, $2 at a time. $1 covers the bills, and the other buck gives them some incentive to create content. So you decide what you like, and then you give them $2. And if they start doing better, then you've created better stuff online. But if they start sucking and they are horrible, you pull your $2 because it's your $2. And you give it to somebody else and then see how they do. And then you boss around the internet. You decide what's awesome on the internet and you can have a lot more fun with what we're doing on here. So $2 for us, $2 for 2A, and then $18 for everybody else. I encourage you to give that to 9 other people. Come back in 5 months and you've spent $100 and tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if after 5 months of running the internet, you don't feel like you've spent that $100 better than, I don't know, spending it on zucchini or like $100 worth of suntan lotion in the winter. What do you even need suntan lotion in the winter for? And if you got enough money to go skiing in the winter, then you can afford to support 10 content creators that are keeping our 2A on top. All right, we'll be back to pick up you later.